Hi, I'm Melanie from Screen Time with Mel, and today we're going to take a look at The Handmaid's Tale, Season 5, Episode 4. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me here today. If you're returning, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming back to view another one of my videos. I hope you enjoyed it as much as the first one or the last one that you viewed. And if you're brand new here, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time to check out my video. If you enjoy this video and you like all things television and some movies, then don't forget before this video ends to go down below, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell to be reminded each time I come out with a brand new video. Alright, let's get into episode 4. I know, I'm running a little late on getting this out. It's almost time for episode 5 to come out. But I am getting it out there, and I apologize for the tardiness. I am trying to keep up here. We start with June at the playground. That's where the episode kind of opens up. June at the playground. She's playing with her daughter. That's not Hannah. Hannah's her oldest, and of course I've forgotten the name of her daughter, Nicole. So she's playing with Nicole on the swing. She's off in a distant place thinking about a bunch of other things, and her thoughts are interrupted by a woman at the playground telling her how beautiful a girl is, how lucky she is to have a girl, how she only has boys, blah blah blah. And then she calls her daughter by her name. Okay, that's enough to freak me out. And of course that freaks June out, who's already on edge. So she quickly gathers her daughter and goes to put her in the stroller to leave. As this girl follows her and starts talking this nonsense, basically, obviously very much a supporter of Gilead ways. So she said she was lucky for living in Gilead, this and that. And when she goes to touch her baby, June smacks her hand away and says, "Don't touch my daughter." And this woman starts calling her some nasty names. Of course, June doesn't have that. She does push her up against the pole on the swing set and threatens her, of course. And then we cut to where June is talking to what I believe is a psychiatrist with her husband, and they're talking about the episode, and June admits that it did get physical, which is, I think, a good step forward for her about that. And they continue to discuss that and how that can be alleviated, and she can move past that. After the scene with the psychiatrist, we do go to, I believe, yep. After the scene with the psychiatrist, we move to Serena, where she's talking with Mark. He's offering her again a position with the Americas. She refuses it, and he rescinds any protection and lets her know that she is no longer to be held in isolation or being held captive by the Canadian government or by the Americas. And she says, "Hey, no problem, Gilead's got me." And now gets into a car with her new Gilead entourage, and they move to the brand new building that June is going to be working out of and living above. We move back to June, and she's at the apartment, and she's speaking with Moira and her husband, which for some reason his name always escapes me. But she's speaking with Moira and her husband, talking about the events. The American came in and he let her know that June is no longer in custody and she's living out and about freely. June's upset because she's just going to gain supporters because she's seen these start to happen. So she's gaining supporters. And of course this ticks June off, and she starts to make a plan. Well, she tells everything's alright. Her husband gets up in the middle of the night, and what did I tell you? That gun wasn't too far in the ground. She went out and dug that puppy up. I told you that last time. I think it was last time. Whenever she buried the gun, she didn't bury it that deep, so obviously she wasn't that committed to not having it anymore. So she went and dug that puppy up and puts it in the car, goes to Serena's house, and stands at her window and gives her very mean looks. So that is how that ends. So she doesn't do anything at that point. She just goes there, gives her look, says, "I know where you live," and stares at her very intently. June asks if there's anything, not June, Serena asks if there's anything that can be done about it. They said, nope, can't keep her from driving. And the only thing they can do is if she steps foot on the property, then they can do something. But she hasn't stepped foot on the property. So, stalker. And then June goes back. It goes back to June talking to her husband about this. And he's trying to convince her that there's other ways, that we don't have to resort to violence. There's other ways. She's not convinced because these ways did not work in Gilead when things started happening in Gilead. And look where that ended up. She became a handmaid and was repeatedly assaulted. And that's how that ended up. So she does not think this is going to work. She does not think going through proper channels is going to work because it didn't work last time. She knows that she's dealing with zealots, and that can move like a virus through a society. So then we go to Janine. Now this first scene with Janine in this episode, I kind of liked seeing the fire back in Janine. I appreciated that. I also appreciated Lydia trying her best to get Janine to be pious, to be grateful. But Janine doesn't have much to be grateful anymore. She doesn't have much to care about anymore. She can barely walk. She's lost her eye. She's lost her child. She's still in basically slavery. She's still a slave. What does she have to care about anymore? So she's obviously very angry at the world, angry at how things have gone for her, and takes it out on Aunt Lydia, who does desperately love Janine. You can tell this. She really loves Janine and loves her girls and wants to do right by them as best she can within the society that she lives in. So then we go back to Serena, who is setting up invitations or announcements letting them know, hey, Gilead is being represented at this address. And she talks to Commander Lawrence. And it seems that there has been some invitations sent out that have been refused or sent back or not, or just denied by Gilead, that they want to control who she's meeting with so that she doesn't step foot in the wrong direction, because they feel like their relations with other countries are precarious at best, and they want to go and make alliances with the right countries, as any government would try and do, especially given their situation. So we do go back to June, and she has received something, and it's just addressed to Offred. So you know who that's from. That's from Mrs. Waterford, or Serena, because she is the only one with the audacity to send something to June and refer to her as Offred. And it's really just the announcement about the building. Again, June expresses her concerns, her frustrations. She wants to go and kill her. Moira tells her, hey, your husband's right. You can't do it this way. You have to go through the proper channels. If you do it this way, you're going to lose everything. Use violence, you're going to lose everything. And June thinks that is simply the only way. So June's husband does go and visit Serena, tells her all the violations, and then tells her, you know what? My wife wants to kill you, and I don't know that I'm going to stop her. Heads up. So there's that. Then Serena, who loves to dig deep, starts to talk about how Nick kept June company and how he must have been given solace knowing that his wife was taken care of by another man. So that's nice. Gotta love that for him. Oh, and I did want to mention something that I didn't mention last time. I'd never mentioned what the color purple meant on Hannah. And what it means is that she is in school to become a wife. She has moved from her regular education to become a wife. And while Mark is visiting him at their home earlier in the episode, he does tell her that she looks well, but doesn't really know anything else about Hannah. Which, of course, Hannah is exceptionally sheltered, especially away from June, because of the history there. Now, this is interesting. I see where this next scene is where Lydia comes to Commander Lawrence and tries to implore upon him that the handmaid system has got to change. And what she wants to do is keep all the handmaids in-house with her so she can make sure that they're well taken care of. And then when the commanders, once a month come around, they do their business and then leave to get the handmaids pregnant. And that's the only interaction that they have with any of the handmaids. Commander Lawrence tells her flat out, nope. Our commanders have their kinks. They need to be made happy. And it's not going to change. So she's sent away. And it's very interesting that he admitted, he's like, you do know that they have their kinks, right? And she's like, do I? So she's not very thrilled about that, but she's sent away. Not much she can do. Not much any woman can do in Gilead. Okay, so then we go back to Serena's offices, and there's starting to be protests on both sides outside of her offices. She's trying to get some what is it called? Anyway, some photographs taken. Publicity shots, that's what it is. Publicity shots taken. And meanwhile, outside, these two opposing factions start to get more heated and arguing. And they start pushing each other around. One guy punches one of the women, and June draws her gun, puts it in this guy's face, and then shoots up in the air. Of course, this guy scares the hell out of Serena. They usher her off and take her to a more secure place. While she's going to the secure place, June gets it on with her husband, which is kind of nice because I feel like there's been a coldness in the bedroom because she hasn't been able to get through everything. But heated from what happened at the exchange, which, by the way, she did get, within like 3 feet of Serena. Didn't draw the gun on her, but Serena knew she had the gun. And you could see the fear in Serena's eyes, the hatred in June's eyes. It was just a wonderful exchange with no words between them. Until Serena got in the car and was whisked away. So after that, June and her husband go home. They get busy, and which is nice that they're doing that. Like I said, I feel like there's been some tension as far as with the intimacy between them. So it's nice to see that they're able to move that past that. But I think the only reason why they're able to move past that is because June's so revved up from that exchange that's how she expends that, which is not fair to her husband, but maybe it's kind of like that catalyst, that bouncing off point, so they can continue to be that way. But I don't think so. June's a very intense person, so we'll see. So it goes between them, the two of them, with her and her husband, and then June on the long drive out to this estate. There's a W out on the gate. I thought it was like some Waterford estate, but it's not. It's another person. It actually seems to be the same woman. At least they look very similar, that approached June at the playground. Now she's got her hair back in the style of Serena, and is wearing the same color as Serena, and basically is obviously somebody who almost worships Serena. That's a little scary in and of itself, but it seems to be where Serena's going to be now. So Serena's not happy with it because this woman comes in and touches her belly and kneels in front of her, and you can tell Serena smiles at her, but is not liking the situation one bit. I'm not sure why she doesn't revel in it. maybe it's just this person's too close. Maybe she knows that zealots borderline on, well, they can be very crazy. And while they may be for you 1 minute, you say one thing wrong and boom, that switch is flipped. So maybe that's why she's very uncomfortable with it. So it shows that introduction, and then it goes into where June is setting fire to, oh, and I'm sorry, I missed one thing. It goes back to Janine and Aunt Lydia, and they're traveling to the center, from the hospital to the center where they keep the handmaids. And Aunt Lydia is telling Janine, I need you to help me. I want you to help me with these girls. I want to keep them as safe as I possibly can, and I really would like your help. Janine I can't tell how she feels about that. And I don't know where her mind is, whether she's going to stay on that route, or because she was very pious before she got injured, and then she got very frustrated and not pious at all. So I'm not real sure how that's going to go, but they go to the center, and Janine is basically dropped off. Once Aunt Lydia leaves, all the girls swarm around her, and it's kind of nice to see that sisterhood of the handmaids. So that was kind of sweet in its own way. So I enjoyed seeing that. And then June's husband tells her that, it worked. The building's closed down. It worked. So you cut to Janine and her husband talking, and he tells her, hey, it worked. We got Serena shut down. She's got no place to go. She's homeless. Little days know, there's plenty of places she can go. People will hide her out. June does express to him that she wants to kill her, and he says, I do too. So we're gonna see where that lovely relationship goes and how that unfolds through the season. Should be interesting. I do remember in one of the trailers where Moira was telling him she is going to bring you down with her, and I think this is the beginning of that. Bring him down into violence. And it ends, the episode ends with June setting fire to the announcement and smiling with a knowing smile, and you can tell the wheels are turning in her brain. She's making plans, and yeah, so the next episode should be fiery. Can't wait to see how it goes. I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying the intrigue in these episodes and in season 5. I can't wait to see what happens, and if they do get Hannah back. I feel like when they get Hannah back, it's going to be the end of the series. But I don't know, because there's a whole thing that they got to deal with once they get Hannah back. That's like a whole season in and of itself. To get Hannah back, to trust them again, to get them on her side, to end the brainwash of her. Because she's been brainwashed. She's been with them since she was very young, a small child. I can't wait to see how it plays out. I mean, we're on, I'm not sure how many episodes today. I think they usually only do about 8 episodes, right? So we only have a few episodes left in this season. I have a feeling that the finale is going to be explosive, and we're just going to be waiting for season 6 to come, because that's how they love to make it happen. So, what did you guys think of this episode? Let me know down below. Anything that I missed, anything I should have discussed, anything that you disagree with me about. From scene to scene, I enjoyed actually all the scenes in this. I'm really enjoying Aunt Lydia. I feel like she's trying to use her position to do the best that she can and do right by the girls, and still hold her faith. I'm finding her to be a very interesting character. And I am interested to see how Moira works with this relationship between June and her husband, and if she can help pull the husband back a little bit, or if she's just gonna watch this destruction from this couple. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're all about what June's doing and the violence. If you're all about, Serena. I don't know that. I hope you're not, because you're wrong. Your opinion is never wrong, but I am definitely not a Serena fan. Not saying I'm a June fan, but definitely not a Serena fan. Maybe a Moira fan. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. While you're down there, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. It helps the algorithm to interact, if you interact with this video, by hitting a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and all that jazz. And if you enjoyed this video and like all things TV, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you're reminded each time I come out with a brand new video. Currently, I'm doing Andor, the Serpent Queen, and the Handmaid's Tale. I'm going to be starting on the Vampire's Interview with the Vampire, which starts tomorrow. And I do plan on covering Willow, which starts in late November. I'm also covering Big Sky. That's another one I'm covering. I will cover some more, but for now, that's what I have in the works. And if you have any suggestions, let me know down below. Can't wait to hear from you. Thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.